This conference will now be recorded.
You coming to the meeting tonight? Okay. Okay. No, she got a bad headache. She's trying to get out.
Well, let's call the meeting to order. We'll do the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, Lord, as we gather this day to do the important business of the people of the village of Owego, grant us wisdom, compassion, and understanding. Amen.
First thing I'd like to do is a moment of silence for Jeff Souls. Passed away last week. The first thing on the agenda is public comment.
I have a couple things. One, I saw in the agenda that one of the items is to not pay for flood insurance on buildings. And I just want you all to understand the implications of that, because if you decide to cancel flood insurance, and then if you decide that was a bad idea, under risk rating 2.0, if the insurance policy lapses, then if you re-up it, it automatically becomes the actuarial rate, as opposed to, as long as the policy is continuously enforced, it goes up incrementally. So personally, the last 7 years have been the 7 hottest on record. This village is kind of due. It seems to me potentially a very penny wise and pound foolish thing to do, to eliminate these policies. And you're not going to have the luxury of changing your mind inexpensively about recanceling that decision. So I just want you all to be very aware that if you change your mind, it's going to be a lot more expensive going forward. The other thing, the Weitzman building, we're just waiting for final costs. We're getting close to entry in the CRS. And if we go, oh yeah, we want to be in the CRS right now, and oh, by the way, we're just canceled all our flood insurance policies on all our buildings. I don't know what FEMA is going to think about that, but is that going to endear them to us as we try to embark on this path? The other thing, if we get in the CRS and do our work, then the flood insurance should get cheaper, and the village can reap the benefits of that along with everybody else who lives in the floodplain, and we'll desperately be looking for that relief. That's one thing. My second thing is that, I don't know, Kevin, if you sent it or how I heard about it, but the town is writing a FEMA grant. FEMA has $300 million just for New York State flood mitigation, just for New York State, $1/3 of $1 billion. The town is writing a grant. The town had offered to include the village, but Dean Morgan said you can't mix municipalities. It's just not allowed. But Joanne Lindstrom very, very kindly said, if the village wants to submit a grant, she would help. That's a huge offer for the village. Kitty corner from my house is the house that's been abandoned. I'm sure they would be very interested in a buyout. They tried to elevate that house and it didn't qualify. I don't know if there's other instances of that, but if there are, and if we could get support you're talking FEMA paying 75% of the tab. And that application, I believe, is due April 1. People would have to move, but there's a lot of money on the table. So if you know people who want to elevate, who want to buy out, I just want everybody to be aware that we have an offer of help. I don't know who else from the village could work on that. I would be willing to help in some capacity, but I can't take full responsibility as a volunteer for something that big, but I would certainly be willing to help. So that's it.
I have a quick question. Now, hopefully it's a quick answer. That building is historic. Now, if they buy out, are they still stuck to our historic standards, or if they tear it down, they have to rebuild, or what would that fall under?
I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think that building may be so far gone. Do you know?
If there was a buyout, nothing can be built there again.
Yeah, nothing
So
can
it
be
would just
built.
be a green space.
It has to be forever green space. That's a historic building, so
Right.
the issue is, can you tear it down?
Right.
But that building, I think at this point in time, might be deemed so far gone that they may allow it, especially knowing you can't elevate it and you can't rebuild it the way it is.
Right.
So.
And that was my
it's-
concern. I don't want to dilapidate a building for the next 30 years, because I know with the current standards, you have to tear down to the plan to rebuild. I just didn't know where that line.
The one across from the
Corner of Spencer and Main.
corner Spencer in the northwest.
So I just wanted to say something about flood insurance also. FEMA mandates that any municipality in the floodplain has to have flood insurance on their municipally owned buildings. If you do not, they will deduct whatever they give you in grants from what you should have had in insurance. I think in 2012, after the 11 flood, we lost between $200,000 and $300,000. I think it was on Central Station, but I'm not sure which building, but we lost because we didn't have flood insurance on it. We lost, 200 or 300 grand is not exactly chump change.
That was actually a question we had too.
Well, can I just say something? Just these are just comparisons we've been doing. This building right here, so we're moving over there. So the flood insurance for this building is $23,344 for this building. This building, the whole building's not worth that much. And that's with a $20,000 deductible. So, Central Fire Station, everything now is moved up, nothing's whatever on that Central Fire Station. Flood insurance, they're not giving this away. $26,541 per year with a $20,000 deductible. Our building, which we're moving next month or two, it's only like $4,000, but why do we want to pay it for these? And so these are, but here's the thing. We weren't gonna just like take the money and not pay it. We were gonna take that money and put it into a self-insured fund for flood insurance control. So do that 2 or 3 years and we got ourselves, like I say, we're already short, like the deductible 40,000, 50,000, 60,000.
What were the costs of repairs in 2011 for this building?
I'm not sure that these are questions. Yeah,
So I
But-
think
but-
that's a valid thing to,
right. But
as a benchmark, right? What
Right.
did you have to invest?
right, but everything in this building is now moved upstairs to like all the heating and all that kind of stuff. So, you could
So
see.
to do a valid comparison, then you would have to, you're gonna have to move electrical, although your electrical's higher, so you could do a good
Yeah,
comparison.
you could see where the line is right on that door. That's how high the water.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, just strictly from, if it was before, last 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, it was like 7,000, then it went to 9,000. Now it went to 10,000. Now we're up to 20, 25,000.
Is 25,000 the new actuarial rate under risk rating 2.0 or this year's rate?
This is our rate from insurance company
For this year,
this year. Yeah.
so
This
do
is-
you even know what the risk rating 2.0 actuarial rate is?
No, but it can't, when is it too much to have insurance? But the building is, everything on the other side, we're not worried about, that's all brick and block and everything.
So the other thing is, if the electrical and the utilities and everything's been moved, has your flood insurance been reassessed to reflect that reduced risk? Because you may be paying too much. Before you kick it all out, just, my only request is that you really do your due diligence. And for the current configuration of every building, make sure that you have the right
Right.
insurance rating that reflects the actual risk.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't bother me to hold that off for another couple of weeks, I think, but I'm just saying for what it costs and what you.
No, I understand what you're saying.
If it was 70,000, I wouldn't think about it, but 26,000 and Central Fire Station, and the reason we had a big cost of Central Fire Station, they lost all their uniforms and their special gear. That was $150,000, right there. And in the meantime, things have been moved up there also.
So I totally see,
No.
I totally see what you're saying, and I respect what you're
Yeah.
saying. I would just, ask to really do the numbers on what it would cost if 2011 were to happen again.
Okay.
And how many years are you gonna hedge your bets that doesn't happen, that you have the money to cover the rebuild, right? To just think about it in a risk analysis manner.
Right, well, we'll do a little more research in front of what we got, what we received.
And find out what the actuarial risk rating 2.0 rate is, knowing that may change, but if the insurance lapses, you're hosed.
And say after a while, the building's not worth the insurance. That's what I'm saying. It's reaching to that point.
Right, I understand and respect
Okay,
your
fine.
opinion.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. I think we should just hold that over till next time.
We can do that.
Is that okay? That's fine with me.
I would be curious to look into what Kevin said, are we obligated to have?
With the big one.
Yeah,
Right. I mean, I don't want to screw anybody else in the
yeah,
process.
no, we'll talk in that.
That was my technical term, screwing.
That wouldn't affect residents, that would only affect the municipal. We got caught unaware.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had no insurance, and now we have. But I could also see where, if we really had good insurance, you'd have that deductible money put away. We don't have that $20,000 deductible
for each building.
for each property, so we should have technically $60,000 sitting somewhere for the deductible for the insurance. But we'll look into all of this.
We can, and if you want to talk about it in the next couple of
Yeah,
weeks, I'm happy.
I'll put it. Okay. Nope, not fun.
It's still public comment. Does anybody else got anything? Anybody online? All right, so we're moving to the agenda, which is different this time. Apparently there's a new state law that says we have to our agendas different. That's why
It's different format now.
it's 75 pages now. Stuck on the other screen. There it is. All right, so first thing is Pat, hands for Strawberry Festival Parade. So if you don't know.
I did, have the secretary send out what information we had presently.
Yep.
And I hope everybody got it. And,
It's all on the agenda now, so everybody got it.
and so, we want to have a festival 17th and 18th of June. And it'll be our 40th. We've been delayed 2 years. And we've, set out the map on where we want to go and the parade and the things we need you to do is to give us approval for the parade. And then we do utilize the fairgrounds, and then we do want to put a wine and beer tasting tent on Courthouse Square and the fireworks in Draper Park on Friday night. So those are the main issues, I think. So I guess I'm just open for questions. Or I can explain more about what I sent you. For people for them.
I'm sure Rusty has questions.
The thing I've asked, not necessarily just you, but the Strawberry Festival Committee, et cetera, for the last number of years is a plan about what's going to happen with everything that's going on. So we still kind of don't have that. I do have a map here, and we understand the parade part, but we don't have the
Well, until we get
the
permission,
details of the festival.
we cannot book anything, which was one of your suggestions last time. we
There
were-
was a suggestion not to book bands a year ahead or something, yeah.
Right, and so we haven't done anything. We've got ideas. We've decided that the run would not be appropriate this year. That's one thing we've decided.
Well, thank you, but that's a huge
And I
thing. I'm
think-
glad to hear that.
I think the police, and I think it's a good thing, yes. So that's really the only major thing that we've changed at the moment. So we're just wanting okay to go ahead and start booking bands and entertainment essentially, and sending out applications for vendors. So,
Yeah, so I mean, the map kind of gave broad ideas there of where things might be.
I mean, we'll be using the same streets, you know, the Courthouse Square, North Avenue, and so forth, the part that's in the map there. And I'm filling it with vendors. And then the traffic routing would be the same as 2019, and the police department said that worked beautifully. So we're sticking with that. And we've got Mr. Winchell here, who's on top of the whole thing. So we're very fortunate.
So the same, if you want to close North Avenue, close Main Street, close the same exact streets, close front, close church. What are we gonna do? The courthouse is always a snafu that some of us don't love and appreciate, but.
But if you send traffic down Front Street, then the courthouse becomes free and there's no problem with pedestrian traffic. And the problem of people getting hurt is kind of minimalized.
Yeah, so we're gonna close Park and Court, North Main, Front, Lake Church, same way that we did other times. We're gonna have music where now? Courthouse?
Yeah, we do one on, I think she put that on there, but maybe you can't see it very good. One on North, one on Lake, one on courthouse, and one on Front. So there'd be 4 staging areas for entertainment.
So help me with the music tent on North Avenue.
Well, that varies depending on where we can get electric, but usually, where do we go? You can help me with that. Deb Smith,
Yeah.
Deb Smith gives us electric and she owns several buildings there, so wherever we feel we can best put the band. But it'd be toward Main Street area. And then I understand the fire department wants to do their hose race, which would be very nice, and that
So,
would be.
well, we don't know anything about that. You gotta tell us about that.
Okay, well, I mean, from what I hear, I'm not part of the fire department, is that correct, Mr. Winchell?
It's my understanding that the host team who's planning on doing that, Pat's online. He could probably fill you in more, but it's my understanding that they're going to do that.
See,
I
that's
think it
on
was
the
put in
committee
the
too.
paper, somebody noticed it was on the agenda. Janelle got an advertisement, okay. She's the president of H1.
Well, these are the things that I want to know, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the
Yeah.
questions I've asked them.
Well, I mean, there, things come up, you know, that we don't always know about right away. That would be a big one.
Okay.
Assume that'd be on North Ave, rather
That would
than
be on.
down by the fire station.
Yeah, right.
Usually
exactly.
where they go.
Okay, last year we had the North Avenue merchants had asked for, and when we approved the Strawberry Festival, that the bus stop be at the fire station on the corner of North Avenue and Central Avenue. And it did not happen last year for various reasons, but it did not happen. And there was a reason for that, which was that all the people coming on the bus would then walk up North Avenue, through North Avenue, past their businesses, et cetera, et cetera. And I see on this, corner of Central and Temple.
Well, I think the bus people decided that it wasn't feasible to turn right toward North Avenue because there's no place to turn around and go back to the fairgrounds. So the logical thing for them to do was to stop, let the people out at the end of Central and then turn left and go to the fairgrounds. So I think that it was a logistics thing.
Didn't they turn left on North Avenue past the other station around the block?
Well, that's-
somewhere else?
Yep,
No.
What about that?
North Ave was closed.
it's closed for regular car traffic.
Main Street from Central eastward and North Avenue is closed, and North Avenue is
Close to
shut off to the fire station, and then we've always had it from the fire station to Fox Street closed for safety purposes, but we've had the fire department functions and fire apparatus were able to park there and be able to move around a little more freely because of the limited access with all the vendors and everything that goes on North Avenue.
Is that
So
where the
what-
hose
and-
race would be too, Judy?
I defer that to Pat, because I know Pat's online and he's very attuned to planning that. So I kind of defer to the exact location for that. I haven't had a chance to meet Pat yet on it, but I'm sure he's got a good plan for it. And the issue that I remember from the bus was that it was a safety issue and a speed issue to try to minimize the turnaround time for the buses. Because if we send the buses all the way up Central to Fox, now they encounter all the traffic that's being diverted through the village. If they're able to turn right there on Central, they can shoot right down Temple and return back to the park and grab another load of people and get them up to the festival. And vice versa, if we have to empty the festival out for any reason, it makes for a quick turnaround to get people back to their cars if we have inclement weather coming or anything like that.
Quick question. Did we have Central Avenue open for cars to go down the one-way piece of Central Avenue?
We've always made that a two-way street. Central Avenue has been a two-way street. We've managed the traffic at Central and Main, and then we've left Park Street open until the fireworks. Because we've had some issues with the trucks going through. That's the widest sections of streets to get trucks from Fox down.
So are we now,
That's
that's reminding me
right.
because of the last 2 years, are we now sending people left on front, back down to Academy, down Main and up Central, or are we going up Park two ways up?
Park two ways.
Did we go around that corner?
We only went around Academy Street for the fireworks. Because we have right about fireworks time, we have such a large crowd that migrates from the festival area to Duncan. It becomes problematic, so we've always put them down to Academy and brought them over the bridge for safety purposes.
So we'll be sending the buses down Main, turn them left on Central, but now I'm gonna stop at Temple and turn left on Temple.
They'll unload there by the county sign shop, or the beach shop. They can walk right over to the fire station and engage businesses and the vendors all the way down North Ave to the festival area.
Yeah, they'll do that. That's not what happened last year. Anyway, I'm trying to get this straight. So we don't want to send them up to Fox. And then when you go on Fox, they could go straight down Fox all the way to McMaster on the split with the buses and back to the fairgrounds. We don't want to send them there because that's going to have through traffic. But we're going to send them down Central, which is, and at Corner Park, which is going to have through traffic. I don't understand how they're both going to have to go through traffic.
We're both going to have problems, but at Central, I've got at Central and Fox, there's people coming off of North Ave and they're going to be making a left turn onto Central. At Temple and Central, there's a stop sign, so following the traffic law is you taking turns and it gives the bus the opportunity to return back to Market Park.
Yeah, understand. The light would rather they came down to the fire station. That's what I want, that's what we promised the boys last year, and that's what I'd like to do, but
Where do you set up lights?
so
Maybe better signage.
Like, thinking like those snow fences, like.
yeah,
I tried that. We tried that a couple years ago. There were signs put up at the corner too to push people down that way.
we wanted some signs to say festival this way or whatever. Okay. Anyway, that's just a little piece of what
You've been through that lately?
Not looking good.
It's, you get down by the garages there, there's a ledge or a concrete slab, and then there's a pretty good pit in the pit. You get back up to Central, and I'm not sure we fare too well that. Just a
Really?
thought.
A lot of stuff being stored down there right now, I'm assuming for
What's the
retaining
thing?
wall or something.
I don't want to get into a big deal. I don't want to get into a big deal on that. That was a conversation.
I'm not certain I'm gonna have a gator this year to be able to use to get around for EMS either. So that's something we've got to figure out. I've been able to borrow it from Maine over the past few years and I have not heard anything from them yet.
Maybe we can get a golf cart with a flat deck on the back.
Yeah, we can work out something.
Okay. So I just wanted you to be aware that I may not have that. And in the past, we've had the one gator, but I thought you'd have at least two, something in two different locations because people don't know.
We may be able to
So you need
put in a
to.
request for UHS's. So far, we can look on that. Now, the other thing that I want to mention is that, and I explained this to the committee last week, is I have a concern about the DRI money getting infused into the village, that we take a look at the potential for major construction on Lake Street or something at the festival time. So there's got to be a coordination between when that's going to happen. And, you know, we wouldn't want 5, 20 or 30 yard dumpsters laying down Lake Street when they expect vendors and people. So you have to take a look at that and discuss when building permits are issued, or, you know, take a look at the building permits as they come in so that we don't run into a safety issue.
That's a good point.
And I've also talked to the committee about, to be honest with you, those orange barricades, the waterfall barricades, we had a lot of public comment about those, how successful they were and how much safer the people felt knowing that you couldn't get a car down the street. And I've asked the committee to look into maybe assisting the village to look without some more of those because we're looking at a much bigger festival area. So we've had some initial discussion on that, you know, that's obviously a safety concern, and that, you know, we don't have water barricades. We're going to be looking for large trucks or other things to protect the people that come to the festival.
And I don't want to get into, I'm fine, just, there's a million questions and stuff. I'm not going to get into all those logistics of all that stuff at this time. But yes, that's, if we're going to try and do the things we do about blocking off stuff, the amount of places that there's entry on this is huge. So that's another thing we'll approach it another time. And even the discussions about where the buses will go is a, not technically a strawberry problem. That's our problem. We'll discuss any of that stuff another time. I'm not gonna ask any more questions right now.
Does anybody else have any questions for Pat and crew? We have a motion in the agenda. Anybody like to propose it and second it?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion about this? This is to approve
This is
the parade permit.
not about the event, this is about the parade from that.
Yes,
That's
that's a
what
parade
we're
permit. And
Correct.
gets them moving forward. Was to get more approvals from DOT and whatever you guys can see.
Well, until we get your approval, we can't proceed with DOT and all the rest of the things that we have to start doing.
So did you get a second on that?
Yeah, Charles.
So you know what, because this is what we're gonna do in the future when we get our act together and have mass gathering permit rules and stuff. So let's approve the parade permit. And then we can make another motion about the festival, but because they are separate things.
This is just a parade permit, so we'll do a vote on that. Charles,
Yes.
Rusty,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
and yes.
Required or request permission to have the Strawberry Festival on the 17th and 18th.
This one's not.
Thank you, Ed. And make a motion to.
No one else is gonna make that.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Sorry, I beat you.
It's a time delay.
All right, you win, Ron.
Could you tell me again what that motion was for?
Gonna have to Strawberry Fest.
For the actual Strawberry Festival, not just the parade.
17th and 18th.
This is to hold the Strawberry Festival, to have something on the Friday night and
Yes.
Saturday?
Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Give them more permission to go forward with planning. Rusty?
So thank you for coming. As we asked, had not the last minute, appreciate that, and with as much information as you could have for us. And so I assume we're gonna vote to approve the Strawberry Festival, but we still need communication as you go along about some of the stuff you're gonna do. Just keep us in the loop about things that you're gonna do there, so. Because it's a general approval, it doesn't approve everything, you know, not even just do anything you want, it's a generalized approval. Now, just keep us in the loop on that stuff. You go on. That's what I'm saying.
Anybody else got any comments? All right, so we'll vote on that. This is just to, move along and keep planning it. Charles,
Yes.
Rusty,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
and yes.
Just remember one last little piece, and that does include those three, that, here on it says on this one piece of paper, that includes the fairgrounds utilization for sure, the wine and beer tent on the courthouse square, which we are gonna have to give permission for.
Yeah, eventually.
And the fireworks on it, or includes those two. So we make a separate motion on the alcohol permit stuff, and that's part of our deal.
Do it now or later, yeah.
So I will do it later as they get the wine and beer
Just to make sure they don't want to move it.
Yeah, because we have to circumvent our own law about, which we can do about having the lender. So as you get that put together solid and stuff, come back and we'll make that official that we can have that.
Because I assume they're gonna need more stuff from the hose team to where.
Yeah, all that, yeah.
So you don't have a wine tent, a beer tent? They're not gonna have a marijuana tent.
Yeah. Except that, they'll be selling. They can just, they don't have to, they can just do that, sell stickers, and they can do it. They don't have to explain.
You're gonna get yourself up.
Thank you for it.
Changing time.
So the Strawberry Festival is still going to come back with the fireworks permit and come back with a permit for the wine and beer tent if it's going to be on any village property, because we've got that form. And then also I guess, extra working with Officer Winchell about the fine tuning the map with the stages and everything. We'll see that come back.
Yeah, he's got it all together.
I'll work on the plan and that.
Okay. Hopefully we'll know about street closures, more specifically with like the DRI, the sewer thing in the big parking lot there. It could, I don't know, if it starts, that might be exciting. But a big mess for the fest. So, yeah.
Possibility of timing that, yeah.
And are you expecting to have the buses and things?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we say with the school.
Pretty much the same as it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Whenever we had it last.
Yeah, we do for the fairgrounds and the Hickories, and we're not sure if we're gonna use PNC parking lot or not.
Okay.
But definitely the other two.
Randy, you're getting better. So it'll be Grand Union parking lot by then.
Oh, yeah, maybe so, yeah, I had thought about that.
So did you get all that, Laura?
Yeah, I was wondering about the mass gathering permit and the number of people. If that's still, are we allowed to have that number of people without having any rules stated about like mask wearing or COVID vaccinations or something like because there's a high number of people and the village is supporting it, do we have to make sure that we have that covered in any way?
That would be part of the Part 18 public health permit that Paul Cole usually does. And then I believe he would get the feedback from DOH if there's any special regulations pertaining to COVID or any other communicable diseases at the time.
Okay.
So Laura, I assume that anytime we do this, it's always contingent on any state regulations and that they all keep taken care of and followed, health and otherwise for mass gatherings. So this is contingent on all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you'll need permits from the health department. All that stuff.
For the food groups, yes.
In general, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of goes in steps. You can't do one thing until you've done the other thing. So we just progress through and hopefully it all works. Yeah. Now, do you expect them to be some construction on Lake Street? Have you had any information? Is it DHR or VRA?
That's what we gotta figure
I
out.
get with the code guys. I'll try to monitor that and just see if there's gonna be.
We gotta watch the parking lots as well. Every single one of them's due for a repave and a redesign. We really gotta work with all of that.
Does this guy that owns that furniture place, does he normally donate or volunteer his property for parking? I know he does it for something in the fairground.
Usually for the fair.
The fair, well, I believe the fair board possibly bought, and I'm just talking
I think
out.
they did
They buy the
field.
big field across from Save More, I believe, is part of the fair property now.
I think so, yeah.
And they put in the millings for establishing roads and stuff for parking.
Big piece of was.
Yeah, it's a lot of pieces of it.
That's right.
So any of those private properties, the festival will have to negotiate with the market.
Well, there was something, you're gonna do sewers behind the back of Lake Street.
We are.
Will that start?
That's a good question.
Good question.
Oh, boy.
As of right now, it's still in design. So, I mean, they
So we might
still got.
wait by February, March, April, May. Maybe
Hopefully it was a year.
maybe next year.
We don't know how that all goes.
And
All right.
please stop. In there.
Yeah,
Well, I know one year they were redoing the courthouse and redoing courthouse later.
great. Oh, that's something to think about.
That was wild. Yeah. They had the band on Front Street and the whole building shook from the vibration of the band. So that didn't work.
So I assume as we're asking you to keep us informed about what's going on, we will also keep you informed about what's going on. And if we have to tweak this, that's what will have to be done. So we'll all. do that.
Yeah, let's hope COVID, reduces and we have a good spring and summer.
That's a good point. We'll keep you guys in the loop of what we know as far as, what might be messed up.
So did everything, you didn't?
No, we're gonna vote.
Oh, we're going on
Did we vote on the second one,
it.
right?
Yeah, we're voting.
Yeah, I got go.
On the parade and on the. What was that?
All right.
You voted yes.
You voted yes?
So we're good.
You're good then.
Okay.
Thank you.
Keep us in the loop, we'll keep you in the loop.
All right, we'll keep our fingers crossed that we can get together again.
You're here before you know it.
So if anybody has anything, comes up, let me know, and I'll do the same. And I forgot to introduce Katie Chandler, she does the vendors.
Oh.
She does the really hard work of the festival, so. Wanted to introduce her. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
As long as we get to have it.
Yeah, that's, you can chat sometime.
What's that?
So.
I did talk to him, we're just working through the new software vendor.
Can somebody bring back your heaters?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You gotta give us a note.
Sorry. That was my fault. I can't get it stolen.
They use them every day, so they really missed them this morning.
I can do it. All right. Our next thing, agreement between the village of Owego and the Rotary for the Canwas Nature Preserve. This is the Eagle Scout. So I know we had Nate's online. We had Nate look this over and we had no issues with it. So this is just a motion to let me sign the agreement.
I'll move that we would allow the mayor to sign this agreement as written.
I second.
I'm trying to read it.
We'll let Rusty read it for me.
I'm trying to read it fast. Part 3, we can terminate at any time with certain notice. And what is the property? It's, remind me now, from River Canal Mill. It's building the one in the middle there. Yeah. And then water. So it's just that one block. Okay.
Isn't Mill the first one, right behind the Angstick shop?
It's by Crown.
Yeah, right behind the
Crown. So it's just that one to one block. Liability property. Okay. You on there, Nate, you've looked this whole thing over or written it and we're good to go?
Yes, I've looked it over. I think it's perfectly fine. It's consistent with other agreements that we've signed in the past and perfectly adequate.
Any other questions, discussion about it? Shall we vote? Charles?
Yes.
Rusty? Yeah.
Time like.
Ron?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
And yes. All right. Going right along, next thing, transfer money received from Doser for the new municipal building. This is just transfer $943,395.65.
Just round it up to me.
I know, right?
Really.
That we received in from Doser to pay for the new municipal building, so we just gotta move it into the right line item.
A motion for the transfer.
I'll second.
Any discussion on that? Feeling inclined we've done it? Charles?
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
And yeah. Then the next thing is to pay the pay apps for the new municipal building.
I motion that we pay the pay apps for the new municipal building.
Now second that.
Discussion on those, we're almost to the end of that because the building's not as far as. Charles?
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
And yes. All right, the next thing is similar. This is a transfer from state grants to rehab loan grants of $87,500.
I motion for the transfer.
We received in $87,500 from Restore New York. We've done a pass-through agency for those buildings that are on Main Street, right in front of the courthouse there. So this is, again, to move it to the right line item so we can pay them out, which you'll see in the payment of bills, not here.
So I'll motion for the transfer.
I'll second that.
Here, any other discussion, any questions on that? Again, I think this is their final payment, so we've done this bunch of them next year. Charles,
Yes.
Rusty,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Fran,
yes,
and yes. The next one we're gonna skip, which would have been cancel flood insurance. Table that until we do next.
That would have been for this building here.
It would have been for 3 buildings, would have been this building,
Oh, okay. Like you said.
Central Station, and the clerk's office, 178 Main Street, which we're gonna move out of.
Right. We'll revisit that.
So the next thing would be minutes, 1/3/2022.
Who's in minutes person? Laura?
I-
Laura, you got the minutes?
Did you receive them, Charles? Is that what you said?
Yeah, did you?
Yeah, I got it. I'll motion to approve the minutes as they appear.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on the minutes?
That was a fun read.
Always a good time, yeah. Charles,
Yes.
Rusty,
Abstain.
Ron,
Yes.
Ed? Is that still?
Yeah, sorry, I was muted. I'm going to abstain because I missed the meeting.
Okay. Laura,
Yes.
Fran,
yes,
and yes. All right, next thing is carryover from the last meeting, which is paying the bills, because our email messed up before the last meeting, so nobody got them. So everybody should have gotten them by now. If you didn't, in this 75-page pack of stuff.
I didn't find anything odd. Did you, Mr. Mayor?
No,
I would move that we pay the payment of bills as presented.
I second.
any discussion about that? Charles,
Yes.
Rusty,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Fran,
yes,
and yes. And the next thing, treasurer's report. Which again was included in the packet of stuff. I looked through it.
65 pages down.
Yeah, I looked through, I didn't do my normal little spreadsheet I do just because I ran out of time, but everything else okay.
I motion to approve the treasurer's report.
No, I read them. I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion about it?
yes, the bank statements. I checked with our bank on the cemetery, Evergreen Cemetery accounts.
Mhm.
And what we have listed as the Evergreen Cemetery CD is not a CD. We don't have any CDs for the Evergreen Cemetery. That's a managed investment fund.
Okay.
And for both that account and the Evergreen Perpetual Care Fund, there is interest every single month on both of those accounts. And they're not being listed. We don't have the interest on those balances on the bank statements.
Okay. Maybe can you get with Cindy? She's the one who usually puts that together.
What did you say, Mike?
I said, can you get with Cindy to straighten that out?
Yeah, I mean, there should be interest listed every single month. I realize that part of it is quarterly, but every single month there is interest.
Okay.
What did she say it was inside the CD?
A managed, what'd you say it was, Fran? A managed investment
A
fund?
managed investment fund?
Thank you.
I mean, I don't know how we should title
Sure.
that.
I know we switched some around to make more interest at one point.
Right. I mean, it's not a CD.
So Fran, can you get with the clerk's office there and figure that out?
Okay, well,
Right, balances there? I mean, they got the balances.
they should be getting balances every single month from the bank. And it should be listed on the statement.
Yeah, so it sounds like maybe they don't, so maybe you guys can work together and fix that problem.
Okay. Candy, who is also on the cemetery committee, she had said she would work with the girls in the office.
Okay, that'd be perfect.
She can Candy.
Oh, okay, good. So yeah, just have her get a hold of the girls in the office and we'll straighten it out.
Okay.
Any other discussion about the treasurer's report? Shall we vote to accept it? Charles?
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Fran?
No.
And yes. All right. Next thing, department head reports. Gracie? Okay.
The only thing I have is asking for permission to hire an MEO/labor at the sewer plant. I interviewed a guy by the name Joshua Owen Judson, and I would like to hire him for the operator labor position at $18 per hour starting.
What probation period do you recommend?
6 months.
How much is that? Johnson?
Yeah, Bowen/Judson.
This is for the labor position.
Yeah, motor equipment operator/labor.
I would move that we hire Joshua Bowden Judson at $18 an hour to start for MEO/laborer with a minimum probation period of 6 months.
I'm going to second that with asking you to change one piece of it, hired and effective immediately as soon as the superintendent.
That's exactly what I meant to say. Now it's paying attention.
Yeah.
I assume you need them like yesterday.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have any discussion on him? We shall vote. Charles?
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Laura?
Just unmute.
Did you say yes?
Yes.
We didn't hear you. You said yes. You shake your head.
Yes. I'm a yes.
Fran?
Yes.
And yes. The only other thing I submitted the activity report, everything else is going well at the plant. So if The only other, I was gonna move on to DPW. For DPW, their again, activity report was handed in. I've been working on the activity report. You see, we received the shipment on the pumps for the pump station on Erie Street, the stormwater. I'm working with Patterson on that. There's a couple of small electrical changes that need to be changed for the updated pumps. Working with Patterson on that. It's something that's been discussed with them already and just timing getting them in now. So we can get those pumps installed. And probably I'll have my guys assist, if not do it, because we're used to doing the pumps and all that. So like I say, we're working on that, getting them installed as soon as possible, because it is down to just a one pump now, and it's not in the best of shape by any means. It's limping through. So I hope to get them done very soon. The other thing I've been working on is with the new building parking location. There's concern that this building may get hit because it's extremely close out here. So I'm working on some pricing on guardrail or a concrete jersey barrier or something to put along this building. Still waiting on quotes for that. So, like I say, the activity report was handed in. So, other than that, salt the streets and plowing snow for the last week is about the extent of it, it seems.
All help. Only one thing, and this is just, I should have told you about, I talked a million times. Half the bridge is out.
For the lights?
Yeah, it's one circuit. There's one circuit that controls one half and one that controls the other half. It's on the other side of the bridge.
And that's something I've got to get with Patterson on. I've heard that there was some issue that they could only run either the outlets or the lights.
Okay.
So they took the lights off and put the outlets on for the stars.
Everything's out.
But everything's out now, so that's, again, Patterson's been working on that with them. I've got to get with Mike and find out.
Nobody's complaining.
And if there is a concern with, or if there is an issue with half the circuit where the outlets and the lights won't work together like they should, then my question was, I know part of the DRI is to fix the lights on that side of the river. Can we tie that into it? If that actually needs rewired or something, that's an issue. So I've got to find out from Mike, get some more details from him.
That's supposed to be working on that project too, so.
Right, and that's one of the early ones they're doing. So as soon as I can get some more information from Patterson on that, I'll get with you and get with Hunt and just, if that's what we need to do. So
I know there's a bunch of, Jeff and I talked about it a bunch of times, there's a bunch of electrical problems with those lights.
The whole side of
All those lights are
so,
something.
yeah, the expansion joint, I think, in the bridge is causing issues cutting wires from what
I think that's what, yeah.
So that's why I say we may have to pull wire out, and put new in, but if we're putting new wire in, then it's just gonna cut. And we have to redo something totally.
When you get those repainted, those posts, and the fences, would that be DRI maybe?
Paint and stuff on the bridge.
Needs it.
But it doesn't.
Yeah, it makes it bad. So that's all I have, unless anybody has anything for me.
I'll do the guardrail, you get the lights.
Yeah. You like the lights, especially over the river.
I don't know the side with you.
I'm only doing the side you can see from the road.
Don't care about the guys in the boats?
Before you blast out here and get yourself home, I want to thank, on behalf of a whole lot of people, the mayor, you, Meg, the whole DPW staff, for all the things they're stepping up and doing here with Jeff being on, and continue, and will be continuing. So thanks, all the boys.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Like that, and it's work,
Everybody's been doing
thank you.
good job.
I haven't heard any complaints on.
Yes.
Facebook. Must have been doing all right.
Yeah.
Don't leave yet.
I won't. I didn't plan on it tonight, like usual.
All right, Robin?
I'm an easy fix. I just need salt in our bucket at the station. That's all I need from whoever can get it over. That's all I need from it. Anyway, so far this month we've had 84 calls. I still haven't got a medics report. Hint. Rod, I don't know, did you ever get any money from OES or the Owego School District for the football games that we did?
I don't recall, but it takes them sometimes 6 months.
That's a good question. We did sign that contract.
Yeah, they take some time.
Okay, the other thing, I guess,
Let me check it.
the other thing is the air purifier. I understand you didn't know how much it would cost, and I didn't either until I got the bill for it. It was $895.26. That included a 3-year warranty on the device itself. The question was, is the village paying for this? Because it's for village property.
Yes.
The village, of course, is paying for it, it's just whether or not we're gonna take it out of the EMS budget. Or whether we're gonna take it out of another budget.
Correct.
I know you guys have a building maintenance thing in your budget. I wonder if you
Yeah.
do it yet or not. Looking.
But that's not maintenance.
Yes and no. It's maintenance-ish. Or next one.
It keeps getting divided between the fire department and everything, so
Yeah, let's see.
every time they do anything, we have to pay them.
We only use, we still got $8,000 in building maintenance. Probably could take $800 out of there.
Well, here's the thing though, if you look at our budget lines, now price of medication and stuff is going up and we're running out of line items to pull some of these things from.
Well, you always can move monies between line items, you know what I mean?
But that doesn't give us an actual
You're saving.
guide to go for the next budget.
Like, for example, you got $40,000 in vehicle repair, because we have new vehicles, we only spent $4,000.
Yes, but we have one going down to Long Island here shortly. So it's gonna be a major,
Because overall, you're doing well. So there's money there somewhere. And you can move money between line items, kind of however you do that.
but like I said, when moving the stuff between line items it doesn't get documented so that we can see exactly what it went from that I received. So therefore, when we go to do our budget next time, we don't know exactly how much we used out of that line because it got slopped and flipped and added.
Well, you can somewhat tell, so that's what the two columns are. The original budget is what you put in there,
Correct.
and then the adjusted budget would show the moving,
Yeah.
so. The adjusted would be more than actual charges. Let's see.
I'm just making sure I got this right. And obviously, the money can be moved from line item to line item, but of course, because of us getting in trouble with the state about doing things, it has to always be sent through the board to move it. And yeah, I just want to make sure because we got in trouble about moving things around.
The same.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll move it for you and anything you want, but just as long as it comes here and then Rodney gets the document, so we don't get popped.
Yeah, that's the same thing we just did with a bunch of those
Yeah.
other transfers we're always doing.
So where do we stand with this roof issue? There's been absolutely no movement upstairs to do anything.
So
And in the meantime, the stuff is still running down the walls. It's still you know, we can see the paint peeling from the wall, knowing that it's leaking down through and.
Yeah, so it's, with Hunts, we are trying to figure out how to fix the problem. And getting us a bolt to fix the problem, as far as I know.
Okay, so fixing the problem, so who is responsible for cleaning that out,
That'll be part of fixing the problem.
cleaning that room out?
The room is cleaned out.
All the it's all been decontaminated, all that?
The stuff is out, but decontaminating will be part of fixing the problem.
So they're just gonna patch the roof and that's
The
it?
environmental firm told us not to decontaminate it until we can fix the roof. Because you're just decontaminating it.
House material.
So they're gonna patch the hole in the roof and then they're gonna decontaminate the room.
It'll have to be a professional, like a Serv Pro
So who's
or
responsible for getting that done?
all through the around the Hunt engineering is doing it.
Well, it's just that, you know, the squad members are concerned, obviously, because that's where we are and knowing nothing's moved to progress and they keep asking me questions, so that's why I'm asking you the questions. Because the longer it sets like that, the worse it is. Now we've had rain, we've had snow, we've had, and that floor upstairs can only take so much.
And it's not that we're not doing anything, or we are working with Hunt on this, but once again, it's Curtis's, that we're trying to move this along.
I know they had a contractor up there, Jim's been working with him too. Well, was getting the job, so. Trying to keep all the balls in the air.
When we met with Hunt the first time, a month or more ago, the first thing we said was this has to be done immediately. They had somebody up there the next day, so they are doing something.
We got the environmental air testing back and all that kind of stuff, so. And then the ones we recommended, they had 4 or 5 contractors that they were gonna give us so we could bid out the cleanup. But they said not to do the cleanup until we had the repair lined up. So we cleaned it up and then sealed it off and we're done. One of it's gonna be cheap.
And this one's gonna be a touchy subject, but I don't want it to be a touchy subject. I understand that we have to split some things with the fire department, and that's fine and dandy. But when out of 27 fire extinguishers that were maintained, only 3 of them was in Central Station, and we were expected to pay a quarter of the bill. 3 out of 27 does not make a quarter of the bill. And I know I bring this up to the ladies over at the village and they go, okay, and I never see the different bill come through saying that, okay, it got changed. I mean, well, you know, if something's being taken care of, we'd have no problem with paying part of it. But when it's not being taken care of, none of the rigs were checked, none of those fire extinguishers are taken care of by now. We get them done by somebody else.
We'll get with Jimmy on that, figure out.
Okay, I'm not making it a touchy, it's just that, you know, if we haven't used it, then we shouldn't be paying for it. And which is why I did not sign the bill itself, because I did not see anything change to me. If something's changed, then I'll get a new bill for me to sign, so I know how much we're getting taken out. And I never received anything to find that out. So I did not sign. As well as the same thing with this issue here, I did not sign it even though I know the bill had already been paid because it was a credit card. If I don't know if I don't seen it or know about it, I'm not signing it. And that's just the way I am, because it's no different than your own house. You're not signing for something you didn't see it done. So that is not.
So we're supposed to do.
Well, I'm just, but there are times that we get dinged for things that we probably shouldn't. But I don't want hard time feelings, so I try not to ruffle feathers.
Let us know, tell us, that's fine. That's all business, just tell us it.
Work with the fire chief, figure it out.
Who used the junction?
Everyone else.
The girls did, Kim did. Yeah. But when I talked to her, she was told no, that it wasn't coming out of general fund. And I said, well, I don't know where it's coming out of, but I didn't think it should come out of just EMS because We're in the building. That's not really our building, so I was trying to figure out what we were supposed to do.
It's all the villages.
That's right. Another thing that I'd like to, Rusty, maybe you can talk to him about because Jim's not here and I can't say anything.
Sure.
As of late, anytime anybody has gone for a fire call or whatnot, they keep leaving the bay door open downstairs when they take the red pickup truck out. And wasn't exactly warm that day. It was the real freezing weather. I know they're in a hurry. I know they do it over at their station, but you know, we don't like having that door left open with the ambulances in there and temperature control with the drugs and all that stuff. They keep leaving that bay door open over there and there's no truck.
Actually, in the fire stations, every time somebody takes a vehicle out of there, those doors should be closed every single time.
Well, they should be, but sometimes.
No matter summer, winter, anytime, those doors should be always closed as soon as the vehicle goes out.
Sometimes we walk over and shut them for them because we know, you know, it's like whatever. They're in a hurry. We understand that. It's life. We know. As a matter of fact, one time last summer, I thought Tommy was going to go to the rafters because not only was the red truck still in there, it was running and there was nobody there. They came in, decided they needed the gator instead. It was during the winter. That they needed the gator instead, took the gator and left the pickup truck running in the bay with the door wide open. So anybody could have just jumped in that truck and stolen. So.
Well, that one time, I'm glad they didn't close the door.
And they did do that one other time as well, that they left the truck running and all the doors were closed and the smell was coming upstairs when we decided, oh, we have a problem. So, yeah. I mean, we don't mind watching out for each other, but you gotta take a little. Other than that, I don't. We got like a quarter of a bucket of salt, but we noticed we needed it when we forget that.
I'll let that take care of.
I know. And I don't know how we're gonna do the snow removal out back behind the station now that we have these glorious parking spots. Because basically the snow got mounted all around the dumpster and that eliminated at least, you know, certain parking spots. So you can't really.
That's the nature of winter.
It is, so. I'm just saying it, just throwing it out there. Other than that, I don't know, nothing I've got, other than that's what I was asked to do. Check on the roof situation.
What's that?
Rusty?
I'm gonna make a motion that we move $2,000 from the general, one of the general line items in the EMS budget to another line item, which we will create or whatever, for an appreciation banquet for the EMS. So I make that motion.
I second that.
I will have the line items figured out.
Okay.
I will ask Robert.
Oh, we have a good time rib last year, so.
Yeah. Thank you.
As long as it's on a Tuesday.
Yeah, right.
You and your Tuesday,
Shall we vote on that one?
put your takeout, Uber and buy.
Hoping I don't have COVID this night.
Other parties happen on Tuesdays.
They still didn't get the food, it was delivered. All right, Charles,
Yes.
Rusty,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Fran,
Yes,
and yes. All right, anything else? Good. Rusty, anything from fire chief?
Don't have anything from the chief or the police chief or the fire chief.
Thank Jimmy for helping out. I know he's been helping out with some of the plowing and
Yeah.
stuff around the
You're the
station.
person to thank.
I was plowing the police station for the last sometimes, stuff like that, so. You got anything? You already did your stuff. Rusty reports, Charles?
What about again? First of all, I'd like to reiterate tremendous thanks to Tracy for double duty he's doing, DPW and for the sewer. And Meg and the crew, I spoke to them 2 days. We just got hit with our first snowstorm, and it was a major one. But miraculously, there has not been any complaints about when is my street gonna get plowed? When am I gonna be able to get off the block? It was amazing. The crew was out there. I mean, they had to dig out from their own homes to get here to be able to do what they had to do. And it was just amazing. I was stuck at work, and I was very grateful to come home to a village that I could get down the streets and make it to my block. So it was just amazing. So kudos to that feat of strength. Our code enforcer, he's been doing, Nick, right? He's been doing tests for the last few weeks. So I think he has one more test to do. He'll be okay. I think that's all that I have. I mean, we just been hit with a great loss, and filling that void is going to be a tremendous feat in itself. So we were just grateful for the time that we had. All these years, he's been on top of everything that's been going on in the village. So that's all I have.
I forgot to say a special thank you to, I sent it to Jeff. They literally had to come up and get a driver and our provider up on the hill the day that it was icy because they couldn't get out. And they went up with the 4-wheel drive to get them so that they could come down and take a call. So that was really nice of them.
Yeah, OPD did, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
OPD did, yeah. You good?
I'm good.
Good. I think we should do something now. So I'd like to make a motion to pay Meg $2 an hour out of duty pay until we hire somebody to run DPW. She's been stepping up a lot and helping out, managing all the calls that come in and what the guys are doing day to day, reporting to Tracy and me, and really kind of going out of her comfort zone of just answering the phone.
So this temporary bump until we get somebody else, until we can situate her salary.
Yeah, I'm going somewhere else with this teacher.
Second.
Thank you. Okay. So any discussion on that? Okay.
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Yes. Ed?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
And yes. I'd like to effective immediately. I'd like to make the same motion for Tracy. Because he has to do with me in the middle of the night.
Is this the same situation?
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion on that? Charles?
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
And yes.
Sure, Nate's your dog.
Already talked to Nate about this. Then I would like to make a motion to actually give Meg a merit raise of $1. Permanent.
Yeah.
Just like making our life difficult. I'll second that.
Sorry, I couldn't hear that. What was it?
Thanks for doing that.
Just to give Meg a merit raise of $1 an hour permanently.
What'd you say? Who?
Meg,
Meg.
Oh, I thought we did that first.
yeah, this is in addition to
Right.
Yeah, the first one was temporary.
The
permanent.
merit raise.
Oh, okay. Okay, so this is for Meg to get a merit raise, and how much is it?
$1 an hour. Do we have any discussion on it? Do we vote? Charles?
Yes.
Rusty?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Fran?
Yes.
And yes, those are all effective immediately.
My next natural question is, do we have anybody in sights for Jeff's position?
So we've narrowed or nailed it down as far as the description with county civil service, because it is a competitive civil service position. So they have to approve our posting and all that. So it's been either been posted or going to be posted. It's in their hands now. They have to post it.
I can't imagine it's fun for you with short staff and doing both sides.
I know we've already had.
Their hair is a little grayer.
Thank you for noticing.
I know we've already had four applications.
There's 3 applications that have already been submitted and others that are pending.
Yeah. So we're gonna need the personnel committee to kick into gear here pretty soon.
If it doesn't coincide with the parking committee, I'll be glad to do that.
All right, perfect. There. So that's all I had in the middle of Charles's trustee report. Rusty, what do you got?
Well, I wish that we had a methodology, but we do not because of the way the law works, because I would certainly like to give a duty pay raise to the mayor.
Don't get raises.
Yeah, we cannot do that. And but I would absolutely want to be able to do that. So some of my job is to lighten it a little bit here and there. I'm extremely unhappy with the street department and the snow plowing. In general, my little house on my little tiny little street, in a snowstorm gets one little run down the middle of it in a snowstorm, and we're lucky. But not now. Oh, no, not now. Now they're plowing my street completely curb to curb, 27 times a day, each time filling up my driveway. So those guys have filled up the end of my driveway. Thanks a lot, guys. And that's my intent.
This sidewalk was right up there. Hear my sidewalk? Hear it again?
It's a permanent workout, don't whine.
You got any toes?
Mine.
All right. Ron?
No, pretty much covered it. Just, we're still working on CSA negotiations.
Yeah.
See how that goes. But that's about all that's up to.
Ed?
Yeah, other than continued complaints about the situation with the lights on the bridge, which have already been discussed, I've got nothing.
Okay. Laura?
Well, last week I attended a thing, Southern Tier 8 Industry Summit on housing. It was climate resilience and sustainable communities. So it was discussing flood risk management, energy code, and growth strategies. The next one is like affordable housing and stuff. And so I'll probably attend that too. And that's it for my activities.
Brad?
Let me just ask Laura, who is presenting that program?
Southern Tier 8.
Okay, thank you. Yeah,
Yep.
no, I have no particular report at this time.
Okay, thanks, Greg. Yes. All right, next thing is communications. Hiring and special, there is a NICOM thing coming up. If he wants to go on that.
Anybody think about that?
I'm thinking about going, would you like representative from Owego there? They are doing some.
If someone wants to go there, there's interesting topics.
They're doing marijuana law topics, they're doing the stimulus money.
I'm gonna be in Niagara Falls, so.
Okay.
At a cheer competition, not really.
So I maybe will go.
You get hired.
Okay.
Look at the top of the pyramid. Or
Definitely. Oh, good face. Watching my daughter. Mayor's report, special, it's been crazy. Really crazy.
Does anybody know the mayor bowled him for 300?
Yeah.
all over
A couple
Facebook.
weeks ago.
You know, the official, unofficial village page.
Oh, it was on, I thought it was just on mine.
And to buy drinks for the entire long hour.
God, I'm glad I didn't. 100 people there. Yep, that's good times.
Where do you go from a perfect game? What the hell else can you do?
Try to repeat it.
Not quitting, that's for sure.
I mean, I would retire at the top of my game.
Go out on a high note.
My wife left the meeting. She don't. What's up with me bowling a lot? It's just there last night too. Didn't shoot 300. 257. So. All right, last.
Communication and you were all set with that one.
Yeah, I don't really have it. So it's been very busy. Rusty?
Could you get one, I'm hoping that I get a negative answer here, but I did want to ask if the attorney, if Nate had anything that he wanted to.
Do it one more.
Okay. Nate, anything you want to throw in? I hope not, but anything you want to throw in for us?
Rusty, you know I can talk for days and days and days, but I have nothing substantive to add.
Thank you.
Nice to see your smiling face, Nate.
I am. What do we got?
Nate did send us that remote meetings are allowed for a while. I forget the date.
Extended that long.
Yeah, as we figured. And John Saxon's, by the way, I think Dean Morgan from the town, he's stepped up and volunteered to help us with code enforcement. We got to work through the details of that, of how we get him insured and all that kind of stuff.
Cindy did send something out. She said she was gonna send it to you late too, that.
She did. I talked to Nate about it, and I think we should do interim, like a shared services agreement with the town. And that would cover them. That's what Nate said.
Give it that street sweeper.
Same thing as a street sweeper, yeah. Except for the. So.
Great.
So we'll get Cindy with Nate to.
That would be great to have Dean helping us on.
Yeah. And they volunteered to do it for nothing.
I do a public service announcement. Please clean out the fire hydrants in front of your house if they're not clean.
Thank you.
That's gonna save you a lot of headache if they can get to it.
That's for good.
I cleaned out the one on North Ave today. It's a simple thing, just it would save a lot of people a lot of headache.
Yeah.
Possibly someone's life.
A lot easier to do when your house is not.
In case you don't know what they look like minions.
Minions.
Well, it's a nice, like, 4 foot tall orange stick out top, so it's easy to find.
You can find it.
Yeah.
Last thing, public comment?
Yes. Question, what's going on with the planning board? Are we meeting this month? Are we finishing up that Temple Street project?
No, which I don't know if we told you this, the applicant asked to push it off to February.
Okay. Just kind of
Be nice to know.
been dragging for a while and be nice
No,
to-
the applicant actually emailed us and asked to move it because of, they heard of everything going on. So
And as far as fire hydrants go, I think for what the fire department's paying Suez for those fire hydrants, they should be shut
Do
down.
Well,
something.
I'm not basing my safety on them.
Yeah.
See your point. My opinion.
I don't think anybody disagrees with you, but
No.
Move to adjourn.
we don't have any other public comment, right? So that's
Oh, I didn't see that.
You said no, right?
I'm good.
Thanks, bud. All right. See everybody next time. We might be in the new building by then. Hopefully we'll be in the new building, at least for the meeting. we'll be.
Hopefully something too.
Now, when are we moving into the new building?
Yes, you're saying they give us keys by the end of the month.
What was that date?
Next couple weeks. We don't have a date yet, but it'll be soon.
Okay.
You gotta look for a living.
Have a good night.
Yeah.